Think of America and sort of, most countries, right? But as always, I talk about America. That's where I'm from, right? Think about America as a corporation or a job you work at. You know, although jobs understand that people, you know, apply to different jobs. They understand that there's career fairs, job fairs, there's referrals that are sent to your emails, even when you're not looking for jobs. Like, companies are aware that you could be looking for a job or a job can be scoping you out, right? But a company will never tell you in your face. Most of the time, unless they're telling you in your face, like in a derogatory way or in a fashion where they hope or want to see you fail. But most times another company, one company that you're currently working at will not tell you to go work for another company. They won't tell you to, hey, we're paying you $85K a year, giving you this, we're giving you that. Go work for another company. Go try them out. Go test it out. They're not, whether you think or they think they're paying you fair enough, or whether they think or you think you're treated well enough, most companies, guys, will not tell you to go work somewhere else. That's how I sum it up. So America is not going to really tell you or teach you, right? Teach students, teach kids. It's not traditional to move and just venture out. America is not going to tell you to travel abroad, right? They give you the passport or the ability, because a lot of people don't even have passports, and America gives people the ability for now, right? God forbid for now, the ability to travel, right? The ability to travel outside the states. Mostly what your passport is for. Go to foreign countries, right? That's a benefit. America gives people Social Security, right? America gives you, right? If you're not even thinking about, long-term vacations or gap years or retirement or relocation for retirement, America, some jobs give you PTO. And I've known people who's had weeks of PTO stacked up and they just go sit in their house because they have to use their PTO. They just sit home. I have text. I've dealt with people who are like that because the job becomes the priority. The job becomes their life, right? When I talk about things, it's direct experience. It's experience for myself, for family members I know, for friends I know, or people I work with. I keep it straight and simple to the point. The agenda of a country like America, the agenda is to basically use and abuse, even if it's indirectly, even if that's, even if the means, is, smile in your face, give you nice income, give you the ability to be in a nice house, but a lot of that stuff could be taken away, and all of it's really, it's just a false sense of community, a false sense of luxury. You know what I'm saying? So it gets nasty when you're just developing it more, developing in it more, like when you're trying to climb the ladder at work and you just see all the nuanced bullshit, that it started to sicken me. I'm like, I'm so young in this. Like, how do people do this? It's just like, this is how I feel, and then all the crap, the millions of just small and big variables that just make life, it, to me and other people, it's like, hey, let's figure it out somewhere else. But it's a corporation, like, guys, think of a business, when you run a business, right? You're a number, you're a tax write-off, right? You're an assailant to get the job done. The CEO of a company, whether it's a Fortune 500, privately held, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have, 1,000 employees or 10,000 employees. right? Or even 100,000 employees with some of these big ass companies. The CEO is only as good as their employees, man. They need people to work. They're not going to tell you to go somewhere else to work. They need people to work. They're not going to tell you and try and look at somewhere else to live when they know, before most people know, that it's cheaper to live somewhere else, that it's healthier to live something else. It's all a game and it's all a system. They know. They know. They do it. They do it. When these CEOs or CEO or COOs, you know, executive level people, C-suite people, you know what I'm saying? They manage a company, whether they did bad or good, you know, increase revenue, increase profit, no matter what they did, turnover rate, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're there as that leader for 3 to 5 years, maybe 2 years on the low end. And they set up with a severance package that if they wanted to, they don't have to ever work again if they wanted to. Cop, let it go. No, so it's nasty work, man. These people know, like, guys, I'm telling you, it's people in your life, no matter if they're the president or if your neighbor, they want to keep you low and stuck. I promise you guys, I'm not saying this out of like spite. It's reality. We're not taught options because we're made to be sheep. There is a shepherd in all of our life, or shepherds in all of our life, herding us in the direction they want us to go. Just, you guys got to think about that stuff, man. Instead of wasting time thinking things are going to change because of someone else's thoughts, plans, ambitions, adventures, you got to make your own adventure, man. That's why we're not taught this stuff. That's why we're not taught credit in school. We're barely taught a second language. They just put some bullshit in front of us. They don't even give us a real cultured teacher from the language speaking country that, you know, we're trying to learn the language from. You know, like, they're not teaching you culture. They're not teaching you how to live. They're not teaching you how to live without a job or manage finances with a job. We're not taught stuff on how to actually live. We're taught to be apprehended, guys. We're taught to be employees. We're taught to be employees in work and employees with our personal life. Think about that stuff, man. That's why a place like America, I had a quick talk with my neighbor. He's from the UK, and he's like, man, I'm not even trying to go back. You know, he served in the Air Forces and all that. Older gentleman, retired. He's not trying to go back to the UK. So it's not just America, you know. But places don't teach you options. You guys got to remember. Flexibility in life is going to start with the will that you have to want that. I mean, this is it.